everybody, Morgana Galaxia here. Welcome back to my channel. Glad you're with me today. I am on because I want to take a look at Andrew Cuomo. Boy, he has been in the news recently, has he? This is a tricky one because on the one hand, you know that these Republicans are trying to take him down because they see him as a strong Democratic presidential candidate, I think, in 2024, as if our beloved vice president is just going to disappear. But at the same time, these women who came out against Andrew Cuomo were his own aides. And, there's no rule that says Democrats can't sexually harass people. Or women, I should say. I just want to take a look, excuse the cards. Let's take a look at Andrew Cuomo, okay? We'll see how he's going to be doing. Also, I was watching, the hearings this morning on the riot. The FBI Director Wray is testifying. And I found it interesting that a couple Republican senators, most notably Josh Hawley, seemed to be very concerned and asked some very pointed questions about the digital information that the FBI got, like off the cell phone towers and so forth, that day. And, part of me was just like, oh, you worried about some phone calls that you made there? And also was asking about, if the FBI had a back door into all these online platforms, mentioning, of course, Facebook and Google, what have you, not mentioning Parler, right? And of course, that is the concern. They've got all this data from Parler, the FBI does. And, basically what I'm getting to is he seemed a little nervous, all right? Nobody else was really asking those questions. It was Hawley and one other Republican was like, oh yeah, what about that? Can you tell us more about that phone data that you got there? Can you kind of tell us what you got? Yeah. So I'm going to take a look at that as well. And then finally, I think I want to end on Florida Governor Ron DeSantis. That guy is a nasty piece of work. And he's mishandling the COVID vaccination distribution in his state. So, affluent white communities are seeming to get the vaccination at a higher rate than his communities of color. I think I know I saw this coming in one of my earlier readings. So let's take a look at how Ron DeSantis is going to be faring. And we're going to start with Andrew Cuomo. Okay, Andrew Cuomo. Just want to know what... the outcome for Andrew Cuomo, how's he going to be doing over this next year, okay? Andrew Cuomo. Okay. All right, let's bring it down. Take a look. Okay, so we're going to start out here with Andrew Cuomo. The face of the reading here is the Two of Pentacles. So this is telling us that he's kind of feeling on the hot seat and he's juggling right now. He's got some balls in the air and he doesn't want to drop anything. I think he's feeling the stress, okay? Yes, of course, he's got these two women who are leveling sexual harassment charges against him. And he's got to kind of deal with those two things, while he deals with everything else, right? Running New York, not running it by himself, obviously, but as the governor of New York and, COVID and just everything that's on his plate. These two women coming in are really throwing off his footing, so to speak. They're really got him worried. He's juggling because he knows what his challenge is judgment. judgment. I'm going to bring this up here. So there's lots of judgments that he's facing here, not only the judgment of his constituents, okay? Everyone in New York is going to be following this story very closely. How are they going to be feeling about that? Especially the female, the women in New York and just across the country. He's going to be judged. People are judging him. They're like, oh, Cuomo's always been real rough, right? I mean, he's definitely got some edge to him. Not overly likable. He handled at least we thought he was handling the COVID disease and kind of getting New York over that hump. They were the first epicenter in the United States for that. And he really kind of saw them through. He was out on TV doing his thing. He got a lot of good judgment in that regard, but not an overly likable guy, very strong. But now with these two allegations coming out, of course, he's being judged left, right, up, down. And if these cases go anywhere, he might have something to worry about as far as the judgment of those cases. So this judgment is a challenge for him, which is indicating that it's going to kind of fall on the negative side here for him. So what is he going to have to be facing? We've got the King of Pentacles. And the feeling I'm getting with this King of Pentacles is that he's going to have to be facing his own attitude. He's going to be held account for his domineering manner and his aggressiveness and how he maybe isn't, as polite as he should be, or just the way he communicates with people, just domineering, arrogant, very aggressive. So these kind of traits that he's well known for are something that are going to come and slap him in the face. He's going to have to face that, deal with it, and know that it is this aspect of his personality that is in part going to be bringing all these negative judgments on him. Foundationally, he's got the Page of Wands here. So, the feeling that I'm getting here is that part of the foundation for this is that Cuomo has been out front, okay, in the media. Because of COVID and the epicenter issue that I just talked about and all the daily COVID briefings that he's been given, and he's just everywhere right now. It's Cuomo, Cuomo, Cuomo. And I think that visibility and just him being on that stage, this is what's foundational to this question. He's being attacked because not only because of maybe his own actions, possibly, but he's being attacked because he's so visible. He's such a player on the stage. The other side wants to bring him down. So this is just telling us he's out there, he's communicating, he's delivering messages, he's doing his thing. And that is very foundational to this question. What's going forward for Andrew Cuomo? So I think this is also giving him the advice that keep on doing what you're doing, all right? Keep on advocating for New York. Keep on working through the COVID crisis. Keep on, fighting for those things that he's fighting for, doing his job, essentially. Keep doing your job, because that is, that's the best foundation that he can stand on. So in his immediate past, he's got the Two of Swords here, which means that he's just, in his recent past, we'll call it, with these two allegations here, now he's at a crossroads. How's he going to move forward? What kind of decisions is he going to make? How does he want to handle this? The days of these men being accused of this, the days of them just calling these women a bunch of liars and they're just trying to take me down and it's just a bunch of fat lies. The Me Too movement kind of finally, and thank goodness, quashed that avenue of response for these men. they can't just call the women a bunch of liars anymore. Too many people are coming out and saying, hey, we got to take this seriously. We can't automatically make all these women liars. You need to investigate, right? So that avenue is closed for him. So I suspect that probably would have been how he handled it in the past, but he can't do that now. He's at a crossroads. How is he going to handle this? You know, the Biden administration has come out and said they support a quick and speedy investigation into this manner. Hopefully, probably to put it to bed, right? But he had a critical decision he had to make, and he wasn't quite sure how it was going to go. But that's in his most recent past. So yeah, I think this really threw him for a loop. He didn't know what to do. He didn't know how to respond. But he has made his statement, right? I didn't do what they said I did, but I apologize if anybody misunderstood me. And you know, this again is a classic line, right? They could say the most ridiculous stuff in the workplace and then be like, oh, I was just misunderstood. Really asking someone about their sex life? How do you misunderstand that? You know, you're at work. Leave the women alone, right? If you want to cheat on your wife, go to a bar and hit on somebody who might be willing. Don't do that in the workplace. None of those women want you. Leave women alone in the workplace. I just got on my little soapbox, didn't I? So let me get back down and move on into his upcoming future. What's the energy that he's going to be rolling into? And we've got the Four of Wands. So the Four of Wands generally is a celebration of an achievement. You know, you've done something, and now the community's coming around you, celebrating, everything's good. So I am going to lean towards, you know, and it's interesting because there's two women here in this picture. You know, and it's could really go either way. Are they waving you, oh, you're, you know, welcoming you in, or are they waving goodbye? Really could go either way, but generally, given that this card is a celebration of a good achievement. So I'm looking, you know, for Cuomo over the next year. So primarily, I think I'm saying it looks like he might beat this, okay? Looks like this isn't going to be enough to remove him, take him down. He's going to start resting on his achievements, the things that he's done for New York, the way he's handled COVID. This could be the Letitia James investigation into him and how he's been handling, or how he handled those nursing home numbers. But this is a positive card, a card of achievement. So I'm going to pull one clarifier just to make sure that this is Cuomo's achievement and not Letitia James or those two women. Ooh, okay. The Tower. Okay, so I'm going to amend myself here and say that this achievement, these two women, they're right in there, okay, is going to lead to a Tower moment. So I'm going to, yeah, I got to say with this clarifier that things aren't looking good. I'm going to say, yeah, these two women who are leveling these cases against him, and they've got the White House behind them. They're celebrating. They're happy. And Andrew Cuomo's looking like he's facing a Tower moment within a year. Whew. And, you know, again, with his main challenge being judgment. So, yes, I'm going to just amend and go, the judgment's going to be against him. These women are going to be successful in whatever their suit is, whatever their activities are. And Andrew Cuomo was going to be in for a real rough time. I don't know when his term as governor ends. This would definitely be him not being reelected. But yes, his foundation's cracking here. He's going to be going through it. So I would not be surprised if we hear some additional stories. That usually seems to be the case with these kind of guys. Once one or two women come out, then the rest feel a little safer to do that. He is looking at a rough end of his next year. Okay, let's move on to Ron DeSantis. Okay, let's do him next. The governor of Florida. This guy's a piece of work. He is a complete diehard Trumper. If you ever hear him talk, you know, like at CPAC or anywhere, he's nauseating. I mean, just hateful and just lies, you know those kind of lies like the Democrats want to take away all your rights. He supported the big lie. He's just a mess. Okay, so same question. What is the next year looking like for Ron DeSantis? The next year for Ron DeSantis. And I'll bring it down. Okay, so Ron DeSantis, we're starting off again. Here we have the Judgment card. So this is representing him. This isn't his challenge like it was for Cuomo. This is him telling, and I think what this is saying is that, I want to say, okay, he's very judgmental. Let me bring this up. This is representing Ron DeSantis. I think that he's in a place right now where the eyes of the nation are moving on to him, and they're seeing him clearly for who he is, and he's being judged. Okay? This isn't just a bunch of Florida Republicans who buy into his shenanigans. No, he's become a household name. He's, everyone in the nation's familiar with this guy, and he's just despicable. And I think this is part and parcel to where he is right now, is he is being judged. He's being judged. And it's definitely having to do with being a Trumpster, see, tooting Trump's horn, supporting that big lie. He's just dirty. And his challenge is the Hanged Man. So interesting. So if the Hanged Man is his challenge, this means that he is not doing what he needs to do, which is take a step back, reevaluate what you're doing, find a different strategy, think, find wisdom, figure things, just kind of step back, reevaluate. It's all about reevaluating, seeing things from a different perspective, seeing if you can move a little smarter, do things a little better after some serious contemplation. This is his challenge. So he's not doing that. He's acting impulsively. He doesn't have the bigger picture in mind. He's a very narrow thinker. He's seeing things one way, and that's his way, and he's not looking at anything else, okay? If he's a Trumpster, so it's just like, okay, Trump, what is Trump doing? What does he want me to do? This is the kind of politician I'm going to be, and that's it. There's just no care being taken in his thinking process. There's no effort being given to understand other points of view. He's just very narrow, very focused, very linear, and, irrationally so, illogically so. There's nothing sensible about what he's doing here. There's nothing well thought out about what he's doing here. It's all just ill-conceived action just no care taken with what he's doing. And, my first thought again is this is probably also related to the vaccination distribution that he's botching right now in Florida. But just in general, this is how he moves on the stage. Now, what he's facing, we have the star. Okay, he's facing the star. And this is really a beautiful, wonderful card. This is telling me, okay, so what I'm feeling here is what he is going to be facing is, I feel like, okay, this is Trump supporters, right? These are his constituents that think he's the greatest thing since sliced bread. Those insurrectionists who are looking for politicians, they want to put politicians like Ron DeSantis in power. He feels he has a certain level of support. He's feeling very optimistic that he's got Trump's base underneath him. He can see the star ahead, that he's going to be great. He might even think he's going to run for president in 2024, okay? This guy's got some ambition. He's got some goals. He's looking ahead, and I think he's just feeling that support, that Trump's base is right there under him, lift him up. He might be the one that takes Trump's place. Again, this is, I think, him living in his echo chamber, Yeah, Trump's base might love him, but they're not even half of the population. He's not thinking outside the box here. He's, again, very narrow, very limited. He only cares about a very certain segment of the population, and that's all he's focused on, and he's feeling the love, okay? He's feeling the love from them. But foundationally, he is looking at his downfall. Because when you look at, foundationally has to encompass the whole nation, both parties, the government, the law, all those the very foundational structures that everybody and everything is based on in this country. And when it comes to that, he's got no standing, all right? He's just dirty, and he is racist, and he is anti-democratic, and those things are going to come back and stab him. Those are all his ways of thinking, all his ways of acting, okay? And they're going to come right back and take him down. And that is what's foundational to this reading for Ron DeSantis. Now, in his recent past, here with the Five of Swords, this is showing us how dirty he is. He's a fighter, underhanded, dirty, fighting for things he shouldn't be fighting for, putting down people that should be lifted up. He's dirty, and he fights dirty, and he plays, he acts dirty. It's just, he's unethical. And this is really showing us that this is the energy he's just come through in his past, but that he's bringing forward, okay? So an example of this would be supporting the big lie. Trump didn't win that election. If you cared about truth, you would know that. But if you don't give a crap and you only care about what you want to care about, you support the big lie. You prop up Trump, even though he staged a coup against the nation. Why this guy isn't in jail or banished is beyond me. But he still supports that, right? He still supports that because he's dirty. He plays dirty. He doesn't care who he hurts. He doesn't care who he takes down. All he cares about is that he at least is one of the last ones standing. Moving forward, what's his future going to be looking like? We have the Knight of Pentacles. The Knight of Pentacles. So this can, go a few different ways. My first train of thought is going towards the mercenary version of this card. So I feel I feel like there was a financial offer, right? There's some sort of gift that was offered, some money that was offered. Some actor, some dirty actor was there quietly, still not overly noticed, saying, hey, I got something for you here. So I feel like we can expect to find that he has some connections to some bad actors. Okay, we might find maybe he has some connections to militia people or foreign actors or just, criminals, corrupt people who are trying to game the system with money. That is where I'm going with Ron DeSantis, and I think that's what he's going to be looking like or looking for in that next year or so. And, I'm going to say hopefully it brings him down. Again, a lot of times this is your own actions that are coming back to haunt you and to get you. And he's dirty. He's corrupt. He's not thinking through things, doing things rationally, doing it the right way. I think he's going to be tied. To some bad actors here. Okay. So that's where I'm going to leave Ron DeSantis. And I do want to add, okay, yeah, let's do the digital info with the FBI thing, right? So they're talking about that today. Holly and these Republicans, oh, we heard you got some phone data. Can you tell us what kind of information you got? Oh, we heard you got some online platform data. Can you let us know what it is you got there? Holly, okay, let's go with FBI's digital data, okay? Show us the repercussions of all this digital data, both phone, platform, that the FBI now have. I really want to focus primarily, though, on that telephone information, because if you have some of those seditious senators that were in the Capitol at the time of the insurrection making phone calls, right? Oh, Nancy's office is over here. Oh, Jim Clyburn's office is over there. Oh, whatever it is that they were calling about. That's really what I want to look at. What is going to be, are there going to be anything that the public can see? Is this going to bite any senators or any Congress people in the ass, right? Are any of this digital information, especially the phone information that the FBI now has, going to come back to any senators? Just show us that information. All right. FBI having that digital phone record information on the day of the insurrection. All right. Let's see. I'll bring it down. Ooh. Interesting. Okay. So here we're going to start out with the Three of Pentacles. And I'm going to say this is the FBI right here. I'm going to just bring you up because I know you can't see those cards well anyway. So to me, this is the FBI. They work together. They're very highly skilled, very highly trained. They have all the knowledge and the tools that they need to work together, to build, to create a case, to gather information, to create something together, okay? So this is showing us the FBI is working on this together, unified. There might even be, obviously other agencies. They're in partnership with others. There's a lot of coming together, using all of your skills to create something that covers everybody. That's for the good of all, okay? So that kind of work is going on. What is the challenge? They have the Knight of Wands. So with the Knight of Wands, I would say the challenge here, there's a couple different kind of feelings I'm getting here. So the challenge here, on the one hand, is just going to be volume. The volume of all the data they must have to go through must be immense. There's a lot there, a lot of actors, a lot of people, a lot of communications. You know, I don't know how specifically they can drill down into particular phones or phone numbers and where they were. There was just so many people there that day, so much action, so much energy, so much information. I think that's going to be a challenge. Another challenge I feel like is going to be that there are going to be people who are going to fight them legally. You know, do you have, and I think that's where Josh Hawley was going today. Do you have the legal ability to do, is that lawful? You know, are you going to make sure that the data you collected was collected legally? Because if it's not going to be admissible. This is kind of where he was going, right? Are you protecting people's privacy? Do you have the authority to do this? You know, how are you going to be treating it? How are you going to be using it? Did you even have the right to get it? And if not, maybe you shouldn't even have it. I think that kind of fussing and fighting with these people is going to be a difficulty for the FBI, because they have to answer those questions. They have to act legally, right? They have to dot their I's and cross their T's. And instead of the Sedition Caucus and the wider Congress, and some will, of course, be grateful and curious and want that information, know the value of it. There are going to be people fighting this to keep it suppressed, keep it down. So, what is in the sky? What are they going to be facing? 8 of Pentacles. What they're going to be facing is a lot of work. Just like I mentioned, the volume, the vast amounts of data. It's going to take a lot of agents, a lot of agencies, a lot of skill, a lot of know-how to really parse through this information, to find valuable data, and to process it properly and legally so that they don't have to throw out information that they need to make their case. But they are absolutely building a case, one by one, okay? One by one. They're doing their due diligence. They're doing their work with skill and mastery, and that is just happening. That is happening. Okay, but again, the volume, I think, is going to be an issue. But I would, with this 8 here, interestingly, I would say we hopefully would be able to expect maybe at least 8 individuals or 8 cases would come out of something like this, at least. Okay, what's foundational to this question is the Devil. I can't tell you how many times I've seen Trump get this card, or, these seditious co-actors with him getting this card. So the Devil is foundational to this. And I'm sorry, guys, but this means that, yes, there are seditious senators and congresspeople in office. There were dirty deeds. They're going to find some information. There were people in there being evil, all right, lying, and putting people in danger and causing violence and being anti-democratic and trying to overthrow the government, okay? These people are there to be found. They are foundational to this question. Why are the FBI pulling those phone records right here? Why is Josh Hawley and others scared of all this digital data that the FBI have? Because they're this, Are the FBI wasting their time doing all this work? Are they going to do all this work and just not find anything and nothing pans out? No, they're going to find the goods. They're going to find the goods because devil is there at the very foundation of this question. Okay. In the recent past, just the energy that we're coming through with this, we have the Nine of Swords. So high levels of anxiety, sleepless nights, worry, regret, nightmares. So yeah, I think there's people who are scared. You know, they just didn't think these things through. You know, if I'm going to sit in Congress and call, you know, somebody and be like, hey, so-and-so's office is over there, or Mike Pence just walked down the hallway over here, whatever communications was going on from inside the building to outside the building, these people weren't thinking ahead to think, oh, you know, maybe my phone data might be pulled. They didn't, you know, dumb, right? Dumb criminals. Well, now they know, and now they're scared. They're scared. Holly is scared. I'm sure Boebert is scared. Marjorie Taylor Greene is scared. All Ted Cruz is scared. They're all shitting their pants right now, you guys, because they're dirty. What energy are we going to be going through with this question? We've got the Page of Cups. Page of Cups. Again, there's a, you know, sometimes I see that fish in that cup as a gift, and sometimes it's a big fat lie. It's an illusion. It's a delusion. Someone's, you know, like a smoke screen, okay? And I think in this case, the energy we're going to be going to is these people, you know, I think it's a little bit of both. On the one hand, there's constant lies, okay? Constant lies. They're already lying through their teeth. They're just offering up lies, offering up illusion, offering up just, you know, disinformation. And that's definitely there. But I'm almost feeling like these could be subpoenas, you know? This could be, you know, calls. They could be getting their accusations, their subpoenas. So they're going to be given something. And who's going to be getting that? Just give me a second here. All right, you guys. So, you know, just where I'm landing on this is these people are going to be offering up a bunch of excuses. All right. A bunch of pretty excuses, but essentially it's going to be a bunch of lies. So I think they're going to find some information. FBI doing their due diligence. They're going to find some information. People are already nervous and scared about it because they're dirty. All right. But once the crap hits the fan, when they start pursuing these people, I think this is just the sort of disingenuous excuses and lies, the excuses for their behavior they're going to be trying to foist on us all. Oh, that phone call wasn't bad. I was trying to protect somebody. You know, oh, I didn't call the Proud Boys. I was trying to call them off. You know, I was calling the people I know, trying to get them to stand down. I wasn't doing anything. Okay, this is what I'm getting here. They're going to be trying to give us their little slippery lies. Yeah, and we'll see how it goes, but I think we're going to be hearing a lot of excuses. I can just already hear it right now. Oh, that phone call. I wasn't trying to coordinate. I was trying to get him to stand down. You know, I was just calling so-and-so saying, hey, you know, back off. Or, you know, I was telling him to go left instead of right. Bunch of lies. Okay, bunch of lies. And that's how they solve all their problems. They lie to the public and they hope that it sticks. And that's just what they're going to try and do again. So it's really going to be up to the FBI to hold them accountable. And just pick in one more clarifier card here. I'm ending up with the Six of Swords, which is telling us some are going to have to go. There are some who are going to be leaving, all right? They're going to be leaving their seats, being voted out one way or another. Hopefully they're fleeing overseas, but they're cutting out, looking for smoother waters. So I think that the end result of this is going to be, yeah, we're going to get a bunch of lies and excuses, but in the very end, some of them are going to lose their seats. And that really is the very best outcome we can hope for, so that they're not continuing to stay in Congress and do damage, right? Passing laws to diminish democracy and to harm the American people, which is really what they're doing right now. Okay, so I think I'm going to leave it right there, everybody. And I will be back with you again in a few more days, and we'll hit a couple other subjects. We'll see what happens with these hearings. Yeah, I can't wait to get some more information on all the phone calls and the digital information that the FBI picked up on the Great American Insurrection Day, Trump's insurrection. Okay, thank you so much for being with me again. I really appreciate you visiting my channel and all your views and all your wonderful comments. And, just take care of yourselves out there. And I'll talk to you soon, all right? Bye now.